Okay, we're going to try something a little unusual today. Put on my macro lens here. Not necessarily going to run it in macro mode, but I'm going to run it wide open, f2.5. Lock in my aperture at 2.5. Lock in my exposure, ISO 100. Right now I'm running can't really read that, 1/800th of a second exposure at 30 frames per second. And I got exposure on infinity. Let's see how that does. I need to make a walk here anyway, so we'll just experiment with it. Just want to see what it looks like running it wide open. See what else. It's a little bit cloudy today. Electronic stabilization on the middle setting, not the enhanced. And there is no stabilization on this lens. There's going to be a little bit of telephoto effect. Forgot to mention I've only got one battery, so I got to make it last. We'll do maybe a 10-15 minute video here. Slap it on YouTube. Don't expect many people to watch it, but maybe they'll be curious to see what it can do. Here I had to open the lens up to 1/320th of a second exposure to get some detail in the tree there. They've killed the ground cover across the road from me. Gonna plant that in soybeans here. Almost looks like ripened wheat. So I can isolate the subject good at f2.5. I'm about 4 feet away from this post. You can see how the other post goes out of focus there. Yeah, focus is very critical here. If I move the camera back just a little bit, see how that went out of focus? I'm just kind of looking through the viewfinder here. There's in focus. I can tell them on my focus aids. If I go closer and I go out. So focus at f2.8 right there. It's just so critical. Curious cattle over there. In 4K mode, I can actually go to movie crop mode, go enhanced, actually zoom in further yet. Got a stampede going here. They're just like little puppies. Uh-oh. Now they're thinking I'm going to feed them or something. Got a bunch of blackbirds following them around. That's what the wheat field's going to look like in about a month or two. There's a contrast between what got sprayed and killed and what could have been. Just beautiful, isn't it? Pretend that that's wheat. I know focus is so critical on this lens though. Well, the cattle are all behind me there, running there, but that's okay. Gave them something to do today. See the flock of birds going among them. Oh, they're jumping through the ravine or the slough there. But anyway, you can see it's about 60 degrees, not too much wind, just slight from the north. Just a beautiful day. I had to get out there and stretch my legs and try this lens out. You might find this video just boring as all get out, but that's all right. It's only going to appeal to a certain few. Hopefully it's going and it didn't cut my head off. I can't even see my viewfinder from here. We're about 30 feet away here, maybe 25 feet away. Just watching the cattle right now. Just beautiful all day. Can't beat it. Here's the truckers on Highway 50 getting the trailer too close to the edge, hitting the rumble strips. I don't know if you heard that. Got a little bit of cotton. Just, well, no, that's not cotton yet. It's a dandelion or something. It's kind of interesting. Probably the cattle kicked up some dandelions. Kind of pointed into the trees here. We're just in a little bit of darker area here, and if I pointed at the sky is just going to be white. Now I'm running down the 2 bars on my battery already for some reason. I'm going to try this here. I set it for ISO 400 to lighten up the picture. Still running 125th of a second at f2.5. And I pre-focused the lens to 3 feet. So I'm going to skirt along these evergreens here. When I get within 3 feet of them, they'll pop into focus. You'll see that. See how shallow the 3 feet depth of field really is here. Now let's go ahead and pop it to infinity here. Oh, I'm totally blown out. Well, now we really got a white sky. Running back ISO 100, wide open lens, 125th. Let's change that. I went to 250th of a second shutter speed. That's a lot better. What I didn't mention, I am running a 3-stop neutral density filter in front of the lens. That's why I'm able to get by doing what I'm doing. Yeah, coming up to my favorite mud hole here. It's getting drier and drier. We've only had a half-inch rain a few days ago. I don't know how long this is going to keep going here. Almost looks like fall with that dead tree in the background. There's part of that thorn branch that gets in the way when I walk across here. This looks like someone drug some grass up here into the... That's weird. I'm going to see how the autofocus does at f2.5. It's focused on the right thing here. I'll make sure. Kind of had to touch the back of the screen, get it back up on the road where the focus point is. A lot of deer tracks in this area. and tried to use the manual focus, or I mean the automatic focus, and it kept popping to the background when I had it on this tree. Yeah, you can really isolate subjects. Just pushing the camera back and forth to try to focus in on that. That makes for some beautiful pictures though. Can't do with the other lenses. Well, you can see someone just stopped up here, right about there, when this road is muddy. That's as far as they made it. It's about 1/8 of a mile from Highway 50. You can see the semi crossing up here. Busy road. And I'm back at a beautiful pasture here. A beautiful walk today. Late spring. All you hear is Aurora trucks on Highway 50. Now I've shot this lens plenty at f4 on these walks, but none of them at f2.5, which is another 1.5 open, just to see if it's even doable. Gives people something to think about. This thing will focus it to about 9 inches in front of the lens, whereas let's say the other lens, the cheap lens I use on this thing a lot, which is the RF24-50, I believe it'll focus to about 13.5 inches. So this will get another, let's see, 4 or 5 inches closer, and then you can put the life size converter on it too to get closer yet. That just gives you that more versatility. Plus it's a lot faster lens. That's at a f6.3. That's like, let's see, 5, 6, 4, 3.5 stops difference, maybe almost 4. Makes a difference when you're trying to defocus the background. Oh man, I've got a leaf here. 1.5 inches across. Trying to focus it, just moving the camera back and forth. Next to impossible. Put my finger in here. You can see how close it really is. And normally, when you're doing close-up work like that, you're never running that lens wide open. It's not the sharpest wide open, and your depth of field is extremely narrow. You always want to go down to, I don't know, f8, f11, f16 when you're that close. I'll just show you what it can do here. When I say 9 inches, that's not in front of the lens, it's actually to where the sensor is on the camera. So I was within maybe 2 inches of the lens. Try to be as careful as I can on this side shot. Manually focused it roughly where those trunks were. Probably going to go out of focus here on the reeds. Let's take a gander here. Yeah, that probably was in focus. Kind of love how they did the wiring here across this wire gate to keep the barbed wire strands separated. Well, tell me in the comments if you think the EF50 f2.5 macro, I almost said micro, macro lens can work for video in 2026. You know, it's probably been out 30 years. So it looks sharp to you, wide open. Oh, let's just see what happens here. Got my focus targeted on the stop sign. See if it can maintain that. I got it on automatic focus. Oh yeah, I've still got it on automatic focus. I didn't quite have the camera up high enough. I couldn't see what I was recording. I wasn't tall enough. But kind of maintained focus on it. Experiment didn't quite pan out, but that's okay. This is all just an experiment anyway. Sometimes life is like that, isn't it?